obviously you can tell that our lighting is different. So if you guys have not seen our winter episode, this is my friend Liz, and we are binge eating and binge watching the Gilmore Girls A Year in the Life series today, day after Thanksgiving. Our stomachs are stretched. We are in this for the long haul. It took us 3 hours.
No, 4.
4 hours to do the last video, and we have 2 more episodes to go through.
No, we have 4. No, 3. Sorry.
We have 3 episodes, but between friendship chit-chatting, this, that, and the other, we're losing daylight, we're losing stamina, we're only on our 2nd meal. So, what are we really excited to see, or what are we looking forward to in our spring episode, Miss Liz?
Wow. I definitely want to see more of Paris. I hope, we're not seeing the last of her. I'm really curious to see where this thing goes actually with Luke and Lorelai. Are they actually going to pursue this idea of having a child together? Is it going to become more of a serious thing or a serious conflict between them?
How therapy is going to go.
Yes.
Between Emily and Lorelai, that'll be interesting. So, alright. We have burgers and fries to eat and a spring Gilmore Girl episode to watch, so we will see you after the food clip. There's just so much!
I know.
Okay. Oh my gosh. There's just so much.
Still settling in. I don't think I'll ever be settled in.
I don't think you can spettle in after spring. I don't think there's any spettling after spring. Settling. Wow. That had like really good like pacing. Like I feel like it was like really fast. Let's talk about story. So I mean, you brought up so many good points about growth.
Oh, I know.
Should we talk about growth? Should we talk about Logan? Should we talk about where should we start?
Where do we begin?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of themes of growth, definitely. I mean, most prominently, I think it was apparent to me with Luke because, he and Lorelai were kind of having that conversation at the beginning. He was freaking out a little bit and he was just like,
about her.
Why does everything think they need like more? Why can't things just like kind of stay the way they are?
Yeah, about like Lorelai growing her. But did you also notice how Luke wasn't completely hesitant to the idea of Luke's growing? Like he kind of went along with it. Like he didn't Luke out. Like he didn't like Luke out. That's a new phrase instead of freak out, Luking out. Like he didn't Luke out. He was just kind of like, okay, I'll see how this kind of goes. Whereas if he was really resistant to it, I feel like he would have like Luked out, like how he did with the birth thing to Lorelai. He never did that. Lorelai lying.
I know. So the therapy sessions were just as amazing as I thought they would be because it was typical Emily, Lorelai, kind of like banter back and forth, but not really banter because, Emily loves to dominate the arguments.
Exactly. It's more like quick back and forth.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. Like just how like getting those going and how they're just kind of like silent. And by the time that it finally could go somewhere, of course Emily pulls out.
Right.
Because she doesn't want to change. She doesn't want to grow.
No. She definitely came in there with like some sort of notion of how it was going to go.
Yeah.
It didn't end up being that way, so.
No. And therapy is hard because you got to be like honest. You got to be like open to actually changing. Like you can't just like go in thinking that you know how it's going to go. It doesn't work that way. You gotta go into therapy having no damn clue.
It was very telling when she was on the phone with Lorelai after she quit therapy and she was just saying, it's been 6 sessions and you haven't changed at all.
Yeah,
like
you haven't done anything.
Consider that, well, maybe you need to like take a look inside.
Maybe you're the one that needs to change. Do a little self-reflection and growth. So self-reflection and growth, Rory has major relationship commitment issues. She I think she has like issues with daddy issues, but like issues with feeling like commitment. Like she doesn't feel that she's like worthy of actual like devotion. Hence her rejecting Dean, going to Jess, who is always wishy-washy, and then going to Logan, and now she's still with Logan, who's engaged.
Who's engaged, I know. When that was revealed, that was because they didn't reveal that in the first season, Winter.
Not in Winter.
So they revealed it in the spring episode, and I was just like, oh, and we just looked at each other like, come on, Rory!
Like, what are you doing? You are, like, worth so much more. But I think that's the whole thing, is, like, Rory has some serious self-worth issues. But she went to freaking Yale. You should be, like, feeling confident about yourself or something. She's, like, sitting in her Condé Nast meeting with her, like, arms hunched over, like, looking like a little tiny mouse. And guess what, guys? If you sit in a meeting like this, no one's gonna want to hire you. You gotta, like, power pose that shizness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
there's a few TED Talks on that.
Power poses, stand up straight, say it how it is, really project yourself as you
take up a lot of space.
Exactly. Let's take up some space. On some, like, funner aspects of the show, I love how they, like, hinted to Taylor being gay.
I know.
Like, anyone? That was funny. Kirk's short film.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
was amazing.
It was beautiful.
So good. Especially
I feel so bad for Petal.
Why? I think Petal. Oh, you mean
Petal
in the film? Yes. Well, I just love how he starts walking out with the stuffed animal, like in his arms, just walking out. Like I was like, I wrote immediately when I saw that, like, stuffed animal.
I know, and my favorite part of all of that was at the beginning when Luke was like, that's our house. That's you. How come you didn't notice all of this was happening? And she's just completely oblivious in the background.
I know, dude. You almost made me laugh. Like, I got coffee in my mouth. I have coffee in my mouth. And she was just like telling the gardener, like, where to go. Oh my. So it's the same maid. We didn't predict that one correctly, but
I did.
You predicted it correctly. I was wrong, but you were right. Because Emily needs to show, like, some sense of like change in her life, but
hopefully. Because not much else is changing with Emily Gilmore.
No.
From what I can tell.
But everything's changing for Emily Gilmore. But she's trying.
Forces.
Yeah, outside forces are everything's changing for her, and I think she's trying to. I don't know if she's trying to hold on or what it is. We have a few more seasons to figure out what.
It'll be interesting to see.
There's going to be an arc, but it's just sort of interesting to see how that's actually going to portray itself.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment maybe you're about to talk about this, was Paris's freak out.
When Paris kicked the door, I was like, oh my god, when she just like puts up her heel and just like holds the door closed.
Yeah.
I think I just need to find a clip of that. And then whenever I'm like feeling like in a bad mood or grumpy or like angry at anything, I'm just gonna find that clip and go, Paris kicking the door. Like, how amazing is she?
That scene was like really perfect because you had Rory and Paris going back to Chilton, so you kind of cross that off the bucket list for things that you want to see. And Rory's speech was just so like calm and so
trying to be very wise.
Exactly. And then it cuts to Paris and it's like, the world is cutthroat. You will die from loyalty and betrayal.
I was gonna say, did you notice how like Rory's, like in hers, there was like Jane Eyre like on the board and it was like all really light. And then she goes to like Paris's room and Paris's room is like political science.
I know.
There's like political leaders like in pictures and it's very like dictator like ship and oh my god, that was hilarious.
And then them seeing Tristan from afar, it's like, it just really brings you back to those early seasons. And then, including like Francie, her name is,
yeah,
right?
Francie came in.
Yeah.
I loved how Paris, who is like, when Francie says like, oh my god, you're like an MD, you're like a dental assistant, like, which all kind of nods back to, because I was rewatching the last season, and how Paris was like, you have to try everything, just so like there is a fallback in anywhere, and so that's why it like explains why Paris has like all these
Right.
different certifications and different
Right.
things like that. But it's like Paris, who is this super big mogul, still goes back to school and feels like, you know, 15 and small, and it happens. Sorry, 15-year-old, it happens. You will be 15 years later and all of a sudden be in a situation where you're like, why do I feel this way? Like, why am I back in puberty? That's basically this entire year for me. So wow, this really is turning into my own therapy session. Spring, it just brings it out.
Spring.
Yeah.
Planting the seeds for growth.
Planting the seeds for growth.
Right.
So,
that's a common theme among her and Rory, is that they're both like super established and, you know, they have all these like accolades on paper, but, you know, really inside they still feel kind of like
lost.
What am I doing?
Exactly. And I think, I don't know, is that just like how life is? Is that no matter what the accolades you have outside, I mean, do you ever feel rooted, or do you just feel rooted for a season?
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of like comes into another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite quotes from this episode was booty buddies, and I have no idea where that came from. I don't even remember anymore, but I love booty buddies.
Emily say booty buddies was like so funny.
Was that what was that Emily that said it?
Because
they were
in
roommates.
therapy. Right.
Roommates.
I know, and I loved the Liz Taylor line. He's like, marriage is permanent, Liz Taylor just rose from the grave to say,
what? Exactly. And then I love that Paris said, biznotch.
Yes.
Not biznatch, biznotch.
Biznotch.
Loved that. So, and you had a really great point about New York that I'm gonna let you share, because Liz is a total foodie and loves New York, so she noticed something that I would have never got.
Lorelai goes off to get coffee and she comes back holding a bag that says Monique Ansel. And as we all know, the original cronut was Dominique Ansel, so that was like a nice little nod to the cronut.
To the cronut. And like, so the Gilmore Girls, like the line that they were waiting in for, I think with some sort of donut cake, was like dough cake.
And everyone was saying, this is the new cronut.
Yeah, this is the new cronut at Monique Ansel as well. So that happened. Also, one of my favorite episodes is when Jess and Rory actually went to New York, and that was the same episode where Rory really let down her mom, because that was the day her mom was graduating from school, and it was like a big old thing, and she's like, what's happening to my daughter? And like, I don't like Jess, and they probably went over to Luke's later and fought. But anyways, so the reason why Rory was late was because she was getting like a record for a Bengals record. God, I really have a good memory once it's triggered. A Bengals record for her mom as a graduation present, and so they go to this like this comic book record store, and they kind of show a little bit of it, of like that record store, and that's the line that she's standing in where she meets her Wookiee buddy. Hi. So that is spring, and that is our recap. If you want to check out our recap of the other episodes, please check out our cards right here, or you can check out the one total complete video. Anyways, we already got our Chinese food while watching Spring. We had it brought to us, so we're gonna go make ourselves a plate of that and see you in our like 10-minute time frame, but you in the next video. So see you in the summer.
See you
Bye.
then.
So, all right.
Should I say, woo! No, that was not working. I don't know how to do that.
Neither do I. So we are done with spring. That is our recap. I will. Sorry.
All I can think of is, how do I do a Wookiee noise?